Hey, what's going on, world? It's me again, Ethan Smith, aka Mr. P.I.E.N. I wasn't supposed to say that part. Y'all caught me sticking my tongue out. Welcome to Saturday Soulful Session of Expression Sessions. Sutton just joined us. Wife, you want to introduce yourself while the people still wonder why I stuck my tongue out at them?
I'm Kiki, the co-host. I don't have a special intro.
This is my wife, the co-host, Kiki. As she says, she don't have a special intro.
I don't have a special
Hey,
intro.
what's going on, world? It's me again, Kiki, Miss P, sitting here with Mr. P. Saturday? No? Okay, anyhow. How's everybody doing on this wonderful Saturday, man? What's going on, Uncle Tony? What's going on, Sutton? I'd like to thank y'all for joining in today. And I'm not running late. I'm right on time. Had a bunch going on this morning, so we had to kind of push the time back. We had some battles and some wars that we probably felt like we was fighting to make it through this day. I know my wife had a little battle. The enemy was trying to attack her body with some soreness in her back. Had a little soreness in my back a couple weeks ago, but the war ain't over. You know, small battles that you have to conquer in order to win the big war. And today,
Hey, son.
Today looks like the Texans won their battle with the who did they play today? They won their battle with the Buffalo Bills, huh, Sutton? I haven't watched any football today. I've really been running around, battling the time and getting things done. But today, that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about winning the battle versus the war. And the reason I want to talk about this, people often say you have to talk about what's going on in the times. And I don't really do too much TV watching. I don't do a lot of Facebook scrolling, Instagram scrolling anymore. I post my messages. I go back on. I reply to people. I interact with some other people. But I don't do a lot of scrolling, right? But, I mean, we not living in the box. We know what's going on. I completely know what's going on. And what I'm talking about, Bill Sergeant Carl's team. Huh?
The Bills. And
yes,
Sergeant
that's true. Bills is Sergeant Carl's team. You should send them a text message and tell them drop down DU20. But I've been checking out Facebook since I've been posting pretty heavy again. And I don't know if you know this because we don't watch the news around here, but the U.S. Embassy was attacked not too long ago. Well, the U.S. Embassy in Iraq was attempted to be attacked, I would say. And you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but it was like 300 or 400 protesters outside the U.S. Embassy causing the ruckus. And they sent out a message telling everybody, you know, that was U.S. diplomat or U.S. citizen to stay away from the embassy, you know, find shelter, safety somewhere else because of all the madness that was going on. Hey, what's going on, Miss Juanita? How you doing? Thanks for joining in. Hey, make sure y'all share this video with a family member or somebody, a friend, while we talking about the battle versus the war. So the U.S. Embassy was attempted to be attacked by over 400 protesters in Iraq, and they said it was coordinated by an Iranian general and another top official, maybe in Al-Qaeda, ISIS. I don't keep up with it. Terrorists, all right? Somebody that's not one of our allies, one of our friends. Mm-hmm. And what happened was, as opposed to having something happen like what happened in Benghazi when we lost all those American civilian contractors and troops and things of that nature because we didn't get any help. Well, our president, our commander-in-chief, who some may like, who some may not, that's your personal opinion. I ain't here to talk about that, but we can because it's expression sessions and I'm going to tell you what I feel, so be ready, okay? Anyhow, our president and his team, they of course sent help. They sent troops, and not only did they send 3,000 troops to Iraq, and they sent Marines like instantly. They didn't wait. They sent Marines like instantly, and they stopped. You know, they stopped the threat of the embassy being overran. Let me slow down because I'm moving too fast. They stopped the threat of the embassy being overran. Mm-hmm. Right. So that was a battle that I would like to believe we won. And now people are talking about on Facebook, oh, we're getting ready to go to World War III. I've had some of my soldiers post little funny things like memes, like, hey, let's mount up, you know, certain names. Rod, shout out to Rod with a nice Humvee with rims on it. I think he had 22s on the Humvee. That was nice. I like it. Swinging side to side. You know how we do Sutton, right? Ice cream paint job. So it's an inside thing. And he posted things like that. And people have been posting things about World War III, going back to war, and, you know, things like that. And when I was on my ruck today, and I was just praying and I was talking to God, and I'm like, man, everybody keep talking about what's going on in Iraq and, you know, what's going on with Iran. Are we getting ready to go to war? And what's so funny is me and my wife, the beautiful Keys, we was on date night yesterday, and my buddy called me, and he was like, I called him, and he was like, what's going on? Bleep, 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 bleep. I'm like, hey, what's going on, man? He like, man, we got to strap up. We about to get ready to go to war. So I'm like, yo, what's the problem? I'm thinking he having an issue with somebody else, a neighbor. I'm thinking it's a problem, right? So Sergeant Smith went back to 7 Mile Detroit. EJ Smith, like, oh, it's about to go down. Everybody go night. So that's what I was thinking to myself when he said that. And I'm like, what's going on, man? What's the problem? He like, man, we about to go to war, fucking Trump. And, you know, I'm like, what? Man, if you don't get off my phone with this mess, and no offense, I love him, he a brother. I'm like, how you going to war? You wasn't even in the military. You're not going to war. Battles versus wars. What people fail to realize, wars are large and wars take a period of time. Trust me, I know, I've been twice. But what you don't think about is the small things that happen inside the war, which is a battle. And I don't want to talk about the battle with Iraq and Iran and America. I want to talk about the battle in your mind and the world and the war that you are already in this thing called life. And this thing called living in the United States of America, and this thing called living in Mexico, and this thing called living in London and Egypt, because I speak to the world, not just America. But you are dealing with a war in your own life. You are in a spiritual war. You are in a spiritual battle. You are in a heart battle. You are in the mind battle. You are in the physical battle. Some of us in health battles. Some of us in financial battles. You focusing on the war that don't have nothing to do with you. I need you to focus on the battle that's going on in your life. I need you to focus on the war that's going on in your life. And today, that's what I want to talk about with them, love. I want to talk about how do we overcome these battles in our own mind. And when I was on my walk today, I'm like, man, a lot of people is talking about this war. A lot of people is talking about this possible war and this conflict and this outbreak. But most of y'all probably couldn't fight in the war because you don't win the battle in your own home. Just being real. You don't win a battle in your own mind. Most of y'all probably lost the battle today. You don't believe me? If you set an alarm at 4:30 in the morning like I do, when it goes off, that's a battle. That's definitely a battle. Because a lot of times you want to slide left, slide right, slap the old school alarm clock for the snooze. Guess what, man? You just started your day off with a loss. You just started your day off with a loss, because if you set a goal last night to wake up at 4:30 in the morning, at 5 o'clock in the morning, that was a battle within the war of life, of going to work, of getting your day started, of going to work out, of eating healthy. You just started the fight off with a loss every time you hit snooze on your alarm clock. Does that make sense? Because it's a battle to get out the bed. I know it is for me. If I'm laying next to my wife, it's warm, it's not warm, whatever the case may be. She laying down, I'm laying down. It's a battle in my mind every time I wake up at 4:30 and I tell myself, okay, it's time to go ruck. I tell myself it's time to go work out. I tell myself it's time to go do laundry at 5 o'clock in the morning. That's a battle. When we start accomplishing the first battle of the day, it's that much easier to win this thing called the war of life. But what people fail to realize in the battle, you have to plan and be strategic. When I think about the Civil War when I was in history, and people talk about the Civil War and the outcome of the Civil War, how the North beat the South. Some people think the South beat the North. You still see Confederate flags flying everywhere. People in Texas still talking about seceding from the Union. Here's a fun fact for you that I found out in my Texas history class. Texans, you do not have the right to secede from the Union of the United States of America. And if you do, you're going back to Mexico probably, so I might have to move anyhow. Anyway, let's get back into the topic. They probably like, what's wrong with them? Fighting the battle. I got to be real, man. I got to JBY that thing, and I have to just be me. So how do you win that battle, though? You get up. You get up. It wasn't Lisa Nichols. It was someone I was listening to, and she was talking about how most people, it's going to bother me if I don't remember her name, how most people don't win the battle with the alarm clock analogy that I just used. Say, for example, the alarm clock goes off and you hit the snooze and you give yourself an extra 10 minutes. Then that alarm clock goes off again. You're like, well, I probably need another 5 minutes. That's 2 battles that you already lost. Then you wake up, you get out the bed. Now you're feeling tired. You're feeling drained. You're feeling groggy. You're feeling irritated. You're a little bit upset because you feel like you didn't get enough sleep. You feel like you still tired. You know why you probably still tired? Because you battling in your mind. You're not winning the war in your mind. If you can't win the war in the battle in your mind, how dare you believe that you can go outside your door and war with anybody else? You your biggest competition, you your greatest investment. There is no other competition. So until we start to battle those inner demons, those inner thoughts, that inner peace, that inner soul, that inner man, that inner woman, until we can master that person, that battle on the inside of us, how can we ever expect to win the war? You know what I'm saying?
That makes sense.
Makes sense. And I get it. People are concerned and people are worried about whether the country is going back to war or not. It's not a problem until it's a problem. If we go into war, you'll know about it. It'll be plastered all over the news. If somebody attack us, it'll be plastered all over the news. But guess what? If we go to war, you're going to still have a battle in your life because now you have to figure out, how do I set my family up? How do I prepare for this? Because I'm not officially part of the war. Don't get it twisted. This is America, and the United States Army and forces are going to protect our country, right? Check that. But you as a particular individual, that's a battle you're going to have to fight on your own because there ain't no rescue coming for you right away. And if you don't figure out how to fight that battle, if you don't figure out how to win that battle, then it's a loss. And it's a simple thing because it all seems like a fight. A war is a state of armed conflict between different nations. I keep feeling like I'm kicking a cat, but it's my book bag. Yeah. Between different nations or states or different groups within the nation or state. That's a war. But a battle, on the other hand, is a sustained fight between large organized armed forces. Your mind is armed, your heart is armed, your physical body is armed, and it's a battle. Which way you want to go? You look in the mirror and you might feel like me, man, I need to lose 5 or 10 pounds. Then you go to the gym and it's a battle when you get on the treadmill. It don't just go away that easy. Now you fighting with yourself. Is this really what I want? Is this really what I want to do? How do I feel about this? Like, how do you feel about that? And I get it. It's a sad thing that's happening right now in Iraq, maybe in Iran and throughout the world. But the world, in somewhere, in some country, has been at war since the beginning of times. You don't believe me? Go back and read your Bible. Jesus was a thug. He had the Israelites slaying people, wiping them completely out. And when they not Jesus, God. When they disrespected him or disobeyed him, then he would turn them over to the people he just had them wipe out. He would give them into their hands. They would lose several battles and they would have to go back, pray, repent, so he can shift and rearrange. Not that he had to plan it out or anything. He just like, boop, He just turned it around for him. He just turned it around. And the war was over, right? Mm-hmm. I'm going to slow down because I feel like I'm going too fast. Share this video with somebody. Please send us a message, type, comment, say something. It's quiet on here right now. Everybody's sleeping and watching football. They battling with themselves. You're supposed to be watching expression sessions. That's cool. It's not a battle for me then. That means we going to end early today because I got to go pick up my son. And that battle is going to be over at 8:30, okay? We're going to be out. All right, let me stop being silly. I found this quote, though. It says, some of the greatest battles will be fought within the silent chambers of our own soul. Some of the greatest battles will be fought within the silent chambers of our own soul. Ezra Taft Benson. My question to you is, what battles are you fighting in your mind? What battles are you fighting in your spirit? What battles are you fighting in your soul? And in all honesty, man, when I got up at 4:30 this morning, actually about 4:45, I think I lost the battle too. When I got up to go do laundry this morning, I did not want to go. I got into bed late. Me and the wife was out playing pool, having a wonderful date night last night. She beat me as usual. Okay. I lost that one. Okay. I lost the battle. I lost the war because we've been playing pool on and off about 10 years and I've been losing every time. So don't tell nobody. Okay. Don't tell nobody. Don't tell the millions and millions of followers in attendance. If you smell. Oh. You ain't never watched wrestling?
That
The
was
millions
The
and
Rock,
millions.
yeah.
I know. In attendance. I said, don't tell
Oh,
nobody. And I
okay.
said, except the millions watching and viewing. Then I hit him with the, if you,
Oh,
don't worry
I'm
about it.
with you now.
Pineapples.
At first, I
pineapples.
was.
He's like,
somewhere
oh
else.
my God. I should have took my rain check when he told me to leave, people. I should have taken my rain check.
Not really. I'm used to the silliness.
Okay, cool. You got
it's
something.
random at times.
It is. it's you know, I'm gonna be honest, and I always am. That's a battle that I fight with. Even just that right there, as my wife called it, being in the living room. It comes to my mind. I'm spontaneous. I spit it out. I don't think about it. I don't process it. I just let it go. And people looking like, what? Then I have to go back, rewind, explain the whole situation of why I just did what I did so they can stop fighting the battle in their mind thinking I'm special. I'm just saying, we have to fight a battle in our mind so the person sitting next to you can fight a battle in their mind and wonder, is this person going crazy or what's really going on? Anyhow, that quote that I read, I think I had moved on from that quote. I did. Some of the greatest battles will be fought within the silent chambers of your soul. And that's pretty accurate. What's going on, Corey Pettis? How's it going, brother? Went to elementary and middle school together.
Nice.
Anyhow, the greatest battles will be fought in your soul. And I don't want to beat a dead horse, and I don't want to keep saying the same thing over and over again, but I want you to hear this again and make it stick. I was a person that fought a battle in my mind for probably 38 years of my life or 31 years of my life, from the age of 7 till about almost 40 years old. That's 39. I don't know. I'm not a mathematician. Anyhow, I fought a battle in my life. Yeah, I was right. 31 years, from 7 to 38 or 30. Yeah, anyway, 38. Anyway, I fought a battle in my mind about who I was, what I was supposed to do, what I stood for, where I was going in life. And a lot of times I thought I was just a kid from 7 Mile on Detroit who was cheating on women, who was getting into fights, who got bullied, being a bully. You know, I fought all type of battles in my mind. But see, if you look at me now, I'm winning the war. And as long as you waking up and you alive, you still in the fight. The thing about the war doesn't end for us until you dead and gone. Now, when I was in Iraq in 2006, 2007, 2009, 2010, I fought many battles, but the Iraq war didn't officially end till around 2011, 2012.
Okay.
And everybody that fought in battles in Iraq wasn't there at the start of the war or the end of the war. Everybody that was in Iraq wasn't there at the start of the war or the end of the war. But everybody that went to Iraq or went to Afghanistan, I'm pretty sure they had some battles that they had to face. They were battle tested, whether you was 11B, 12B, 13B, whether you was a Pogue or you was a Grunt. One way or the other, you had some type of battle you had to fight, whether it was the Child Hall Nazis, whether it was the PX Rangers, whether it was the platoon sergeant. It was somebody you had to deal with, you had to fight with. But before you dealt with them, you had to deal with yourself. You had to deal with the battle of your mind. Do I get up and go to the gym? Do I want to go back out on mission yesterday because of the madness that went on and the craziness that happened? Like, you have to deal with those things. What do you think about that? Yeah, okay. I'm solo today. She here, but she not. She here, but she not here. She like, when we get off camera, I told you I don't have a lot to say. Now you gonna try to drag me into this little battle war thing you got going on. I ain't in the army. But it's a spiritual battle too. A lot of times it's a spiritual battle. We think that the things that we fight is always physical. It's a spiritual, it's a mental battle, it's emotional battle. Why did I struggle for so long? Why did I struggle from the age of 7 when my parents separated till about 40 years old, as I like to say? So that would be 33 years for you people that was counting my math. That would be about 33 years. But why did I struggle for so long in my life? Because I was losing those battles thinking I was fighting a physical battle. It was me versus my wife. It was me versus my ex. It was me versus my friend. It was me versus my sister. Like, this physical person that I seen, you did this to me. You made me treat women this way because you left me. You made me do this because somebody cheated on me. So the physical battle was between myself and seeing other people. who I thought wronged me. But right before I turned 40, God kind of slapped me around and was like, nah, the battle was not with them. The battle was with him. The battle ain't with them. The battle was with him, or the battle was with her. That's it. Oh, I'm thinking of this quote and I can't think of it right now. Something about the enemy within. It's a Les Brown quote, but I can't think of it right now. But the battle always starts internal. It's never external first. If you can master this mind, if you can master your heart, if you can master your surroundings, if you can master the battle that you're in and your surroundings, in due time, the war has to end.
Yes.
The war has to end, but you cannot, you should not continue to focus so much on the big picture without having a plan for the small battles. If you don't have any structure, if you don't have any discipline, if you don't have something consistent that you're doing in your life, you will fall to many battles. You will fall to many battles. And your life will always feel like it's in turmoil. You will always feel like you're in a constant war, in a constant struggle. And yes, you are. But if you're losing a battle every day, that makes the war look a lot more difficult than when you win in the battle. Yeah. Don't get it twisted, man. When I started winning the battle with my mind, I still was in war. I still had to deal with my ex-wife. I still had to deal with living in my sister's basement and other people. You know, I still had to deal with people out on the streets and driving. I still had things that I had to deal with. But since I had won the battle with my mind, since I took time to learn me, since I took time to love me, since I took time to accept me, since I took time to fight with me and say, you know what, no matter what, we gonna get this out. No longer will these things control my life. No longer will I battle in my mind about my parents separating 30 years ago. Are you serious? Are we still battling with that type of stuff? That's a war that you probably won't win for the simple fact that it's somebody else in it and you can't control that other person. But you can control you. And if you control you, you win the battle for your life. That makes sense. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. I was looking up some stuff on the Civil War, and I had an opportunity when I went to Vicksburg, Mississippi. Never been to Vicksburg before until February 2018. Shout out to my brother Zuniga and Sal and all the guys over at Third Coast Airsoft. They invited me out to do an airsoft event with them in Vicksburg, Mississippi. Now, I heard of Gettysburg, and I don't know all the battles in the Civil War. I just know about the Civil War like most of y'all, so don't lie like you know unless you're a historian or something. We don't even got to go back and forth like that. Express yourself. I'm real. Share this video with somebody because they need it. But when I went to Vicksburg, Mississippi, we were reading a placard, and it was, talking about how this was a spot of the Civil War and what had happened here. I had no idea the significance of Vicksburg, Mississippi until I took a history class in ACC, and they talked about how Vicksburg, Gettysburg, the Battle of Antietam, Bull Run, and all these other battles that took place, and all these things that happened for the Confederate, and I know we call them Yankees, but I can't think of the name for the Northern Army right now. It's not important, but the North. The reason that the North was able to beat the South because they began to win strategic major battles. Vicksburg, Gettysburg being the biggest of them all because of mistake, that the Southern general, was it General Lee, Stonewall Lee Jackson or something like that, for the Southern Confederate Army. But he made a crucial mistake in not taking the hilltop that the Northern Army, can't think of the name right now, I'm gonna say them Yankees, okay? Y'all know what that is. The Yankees were able to secure these two hilltops, would put them in a perfect overwatch position to see the entire battlefield, not the entire war. You have to understand, Vicksburg is in Mississippi. And if I'm not mistaken, you can correct me, fact check this, I'll Google it. Gettysburg, that's in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is somewhere up there, Mississippi somewhere down here. They had to win those strategic battles to win the entire Civil War. I had to win the battle within my mind about, okay, Ethan, your parents didn't divorce because of you. Your parents divorced because of whatever their particular reason was. I had to win the battle in my mind of, you can't blame your parents at 28, 38, 21, 22 for the battles that you choose to lose in your relationships, the battle that you choose to lose in your finances, the battle that you choose to lose in your health. Because one thing about a battle and about a war, you can always plan for it, even though the plan's gonna go away, even though the plans ain't gonna work out. You can at least begin to plan something. So what did I do for my battle, for my war in my life? I began to plan to read more. I began to plan to study myself more. I began to plan to pray more. I began to plan to separate myself from certain individuals. I began to plan to go to school more. And the more that I start planning for my life, the more that I start battling those things, and the more that I start waking up and beating the alarm clock, it got to the point where I was beating the alarm clock. It would go off. I was already 10 or 15 minutes up. How did I start winning those battles? I start planning for the battle that I knew was coming. You have to start planning for the battle that you know is coming. And what is that? It's called life. You already in it. Every day you wake up, you're going to fight some type of small battle, whether you want to or not. And if you don't master your mind, if you don't master your heart, if you don't master your head and who you are, you're going to feel like you're constantly in the war that you cannot win. Cannot win. Vicksburg is in Mississippi. Gettysburg is up in Pennsylvania. Hey, now that's what's up. What's going on with you, Robert? Congratulations. That's some on my Instagram, something totally different, off topic, but I have to say hi to everybody that get on the site. But the planning phase, the strategic planning phase, the communication, the showing up, just prepared to fight with some type of plan, allow the North to be victorious in a civil war. So the planning phase is just as important as the fighting phase, even though the plans that you set may not work out. You've planned to do something. You've planned to fight back. But if you don't make a plan for a battle plan, if you don't make a battle plan, the war is going to continue to beat you down. I fought many battles in 2006, 2007 while I was in Iraq. I fought many battles in 2004 when I was in Egypt. Not actual combat battles, but just battles in my mind. But the more you begin to plan, the more we planned when we went on missions, the more we rehearsed, the easier it became to be part of the battle. The easier it became to be in the fight. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. The easier it became. I know my boy Tom Brady was in the battle. He probably in the battle tonight because everybody is counting him out. He probably going to win anyhow. But think about that. You go from 199th pick to being considered one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Think about the fight that you had to deal with in your mind when you did not get picked. Think about the fight you had to deal with in your mind when you were sexually assaulted. Think about the fight you had to deal with in your mind when your husband walked out and left you with the kids and no money. Think about the fight you had to deal with in your mind when your mother told you that you're not good enough, when your father told you that you're not good enough. Think about the fight you had to battle in your mind when your job laid you off and let you go after 22, 23 years of service. Think about the fight and the battle that you had to play with in your mind or deal with in your mind when you lost a loved one, when you was about to have an unexpected child. That's a battle for some people. Yeah. Think about the battles that you had to fight in your mind and think about the battles that you have already won. You still in the war. The war is not over until you dead. You in spiritual warfare, you in mental warfare, you in physical warfare, you in financial warfare. Some of us, whether you feel like it or not, in this society, it's a financial warfare because most of the people in this society is chasing finances. Why? Because they're battling with themselves about the things that they need to have to fit. They're battling with themselves about the things that they need to have to fit, not understanding that when they fit themselves into a battle plan, and you realize that these things that they say you need to win is not necessary. As long as you show up to the fight, as long as you keep showing up and you keep planning something, you got to blow up. You eventually got to start winning some battles. And when you won one little battle, it makes you that much more confident to fight another one. When I won the battle of going back to school and not getting D's and F's and getting C's and B's to A's, I was able to keep fighting. When I won the battle of humbling myself and going to a tutor and saying, hey, I don't know math, I need help.
Yes.
When I did that, when I won those battles, it made it easier to go into the next tutor and say, I need help. It made it easier to stand up in front of a classroom and say, I don't care if I get it wrong. I'm not going to get embarrassed. We talking about my life. We talking about your life. We talking about the battle in your life. Because when I turn this camera off, you still have something you have to deal with. You still have a war. When I walk outside that door, I'm still at a war with other drivers out there, with other people doing wild stuff, worrying about what's going on back at home, not even worrying, thinking about, because I'm not there. But I plan to do certain things when I go out. Me and my wife plan things that happen when we're away from each other. So when we have a battle plan, when we have a structure, when we have a tactic, when we have an idea of what we want to do, where we want to go, the war that we're in doesn't seem so difficult.
Right.
Because we plan to fight certain battles.
Right.
All right, you're going to say, I'm okay. Hey, there we go.
Really?
Oh, I thought she had some. What's going on, Eli? What's going on, Shannon? What's going on, Bussy? Last names, man. I'm an Army guy. And what's going on, Andre from Solomon's Temple? How you doing, sir? Again, we just talking about winning the battle versus fighting the war. And I'm not talking about Iraq, Iran, and I know it's a sad thing that's happening, them attempting to attack the American embassy. And everybody's all watching the news and everybody's getting all worked up. Not everybody, I have to watch that word. A lot of people, some people are getting worked up, are worried about what's going to happen next. Are we getting ready to go into World War III? What was this about? What's going on? I want you to ask yourself this question. What am I battling? What is the war going on in my life? How do I battle plan for the things that's happening in my life? Because here's the thing. If war starts tomorrow, if we're in war tomorrow and our country is attacked, if you haven't got some type of battle plan in your mind how to deal with it, you're probably going to lose yourself. You're probably going to lose yourself. It's nothing that you plan for. When I was in Iraq in 2006, 2007, people asked me, what was it like going to war? I'm like, I don't know. It's not like the movies. I was thinking to myself, when you go to war, you go to war. I had never been to war. I mean, I'm from Detroit, but that's a different story. Even in Detroit, unless you are knowing that I am, okay, here's when you know a fight is coming to you. Last day of school, I'm going to see you outside 3 o'clock. You know you about to show up for the war. It's about to be a fight. When I was in Iraq and I was in the war, I hadn't been in a battle in 2 months. I was just there. I was thinking, when is it going to happen? But when did the war begin? When I was riding down the road one day and something blew up and the battle broke out. I wasn't thinking about the whole scope of the war. I was thinking about winning this individual day and making it back to my room with my guys. We won the war in Iraq, but we lost some battles. The reason I say we lost some battles because we lost some soldiers. We may have won that day. We may have won the day before. We may have won 3 months later. But certain battles we lost. Everybody loses a battle. Everybody loses a battle. Most of us are probably losing a battle in our mind right now. Hey, what's going on, Jay? Thanks for joining in. That's Mr. Jay, who I told you I met earlier today.
Okay.
I like his page. It's nonfiction. He spelled it with the PF, like Pflugerville.
Nice.
Anyhow, so when I was battling in Iraq, when I was fighting in the war in Iraq, I was there a year. And every day I went out, I wasn't just part of the war. Every day that I went out, we wasn't just fighting and You know, a lot of days we rode around and you waited for the battle to come to you. Got you up while I'm at the laundromat. Oh, that's
Nice.
what's up, man. Appreciate it. A lot of times the fight comes to you. The battle comes to you. That's cool. I appreciate it, man. Anybody watching, I appreciate it. In and out, on and off, I take it. My wife always tell me, babe, don't pay no attention to how many people viewing. People go back and watch it later. You know you do it at the wrong time. Saturday, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. People getting ready for the battle at the club tonight. It's a twerk battle going on, okay? Don't stop, get it, don't stop. You know? Hey, man, that's just me. I'm going to be me. It's just me, man. I have to be who I am. I have to JBY that thing. But I really want you to understand, man. When you're dealing with pressures in your life, when you're dealing with difficulties in your life, and we all have them, that is an individual battle that you must win. I know it's something scriptural about battles and wars, babe. Where's my Bible? Let me get the big book. I ain't gonna hit you. I see you. Babe, can you talk to the people? I gotta Google something real quick. But we do the show at this time because it's just the way it worked out, and it might not work out for other people, and we may have to battle with certain things. But if you set a plan and you keep working towards that thing, more people will start to come and more people will start to follow. And you're not warring with the social media algorithms and how you supposed to do things. Just keep winning the battle. What's my battle? My battle is to consistently post every Saturday at 6 o'clock. If I'm not doing expression sessions, I need to send the people a message that watch, that follow, be respectful, and let them know what time we coming on. That's a battle sometimes. Why is that a battle? Because life happens. I have a wife. I have 5 children. I go out, I do Uber, I cook, I clean. Things happen. But if you at least make a battle plan, you can adjust just like we did today. You can send out an email. You can send out a text message. You can send out a Facebook meme. I don't know. You can send something out to shift in that battle of your life. If you send good energy out there, it shifts the battle in your mind. I did it. I'm living and walking proof that the battle is within. He who lives in me is greater than he who lives in the world. It starts within. The battle always starts within. When you start to face your demons, your problems, your issues, your difficulties, and not worrying about the war that everyone else is in, and you start to deal with your battles, when you start to deal with your battles, that's when your life begin to change. Everyone has their own individual battles that they must face. Everyone has their own individual battles that they must face. And no matter what you do or who you go to, the only person that's going to get you through is you. But here's the thing. You have the ability to get through, but you must plan for it. You must battle plan. You must set something in place. You must set something in place for what you say you want. You must set something in place for where you say you want to go. How do you win most battles, Ethan? I JBY. I just be me. I get on here and talk about twerk battles and be silly. I get on here and start doing the rock impressions. Why? Because people want to see the real you. People want to see the authentic you. People want to see the true you. People can see through the BS and the bull crap all the time. They don't want no fake. That's the war that's going on in our society right now. Who I follow, who I deal with, who do I like? Because there's a lot of fakeness going on right now. Because people are battling with themselves, trying to press other people who are in the fight as well. We're looking to be perfect for other imperfect individuals. That's a battle. Man, share this video with somebody. Please like, subscribe to the channel. Facebook at Ethan J. Smith, Mr. P.I.E.N on Instagram, Mr. P.I.E.N77 on YouTube. Amen to that. 31 spiritual warfare battles.
Which scripture are
it
you
doesn't
looking
matter.
for?
Just scroll. I'll find one. It was something I can't think of it right now. That's why I said it wasn't coming to me, but I don't like this one.
Yeah,
I don't like the way it looked. Silence. Crickets. Can't be no crickets on here now. Can't be no crickets. Shouldn't be no crickets.
What are some words in it? Do you remember? What parts of it do you remember?
None.
Oh.
None. That's all right. I don't need it. I'm gonna do what I normally do right now. I'm gonna go extemporaneous. Again, when I think about battles that I fought in my life, I mean, what's some type of battles that you had to fight in your life? Well, I'm sitting here. I know how to get her in there. Let me ask you a question. Talk to the people about some battles and how you've overcame some things. I'm pretty sure you had some battles that you fought in your life and felt like, you was losing the war at times. How did you make it through?
Indeed. I've had a lot of battles, from mother-daughter battles to marital battles to financial battles. I mean, yeah, battles are something we don't get to escape.
But how did you make it through your financial battles? Because you kind of talked about this the other day.
Yes. I came up with a plan. I started following people and that are successful, or that I deem are successful, and reading their books and just implementing the things that I learned. It makes no sense to read about it and get that information and not implement it. So, and then you take baby steps. Start with something. Start with somewhere. So that's how I did it. I saved. I saved. I learned. I implemented, and I had a plan. I want to pay off this amount by this month, and this is my plan for it. I'm going to put $50 towards this, or, I had a dollar amount to it. You just come up with a plan, or I just came up with the plan and implemented it.
And how did that make you feel as far as what you was warring with in life? Like when your finance was in the uproar, you made that battle plan and you started to put some of that money away and you started to see the money pile up in your bank. How did that make you feel then as far as being in the war-torn situation financially?
It makes you feel victorious when you go from, oh my God, I'm losing the battle, to now I'm winning. I have bills paid and I have money left over to save. That's an awesome feeling. It's a freeing feeling. You free yourself from the stress of living paycheck to paycheck. You free yourself from the stress of not feeling like you have enough. If I have a emergency fund, when these things called life come up, with my tire blowing out and my kids need something, then I'm not as stressed because I have a plan in place. I have an emergency fund, be it $1,000, be it $500. I mean, you have to start somewhere. When I first started, my goal for my emergency fund was $500. And then once I hit that goal, then my goal was $1,000. So, and it didn't happen overnight. It took me some time because I was saving so much from my paycheck to do it. And I know a lot of people are hearing a lot about side hustles. So you can get a side hustle and fund your emergency fund and pay down bills. And, you just have to have a plan. So if you say, hey, my plan is to have $500 in an emergency fund, that way, when these things called life come up, you're not frazzled. You're not just going crazy because now you're like, I already didn't have the money to pay my living expenses. Now I really don't have the money to pay for, these things that come up. Like, you don't plan for your tire being blown out. You don't know all the time that it's a nail in the road or whatever, glass. And you roll over that thing and now you have a tire problem. This is not something you plan for. So if you have an emergency fund, you inconvenienced, but you're not going crazy. You're like, okay, I got the money in the bank, no big deal. This is an inconvenience because, of course, I was on my way somewhere. But
it's kind of like when we do it in the Army, when we used to have an ambush, right? You have a battle plan.
Yeah.
So in a near ambush, we do what's called a turn and burn. That's in grenade distance range kill zone. You really don't. You have a plan, a battle plan. I'm gonna tie this into this quote I just seen by Dwight D. Eisenhower. So in the military, when we're out on the road and you're walking, you're talking about planning and how you made one thing happen, and you start, you add more. You start building more to it. And in the military, when we be out, we have battle plans and things that happen, things that we plan to do, things that we want to happen. But when an ambush happens, when you just get caught off guard, somebody just sneak you, all your battle plans go by the wayside. All your battle plans go by the wayside. But what you do at that point is you react. But the fact that you planned something, let you know to be prepared for a fight.
Yes.
A lot of us don't plan anything. So you're not prepared for the fight when you wake up and walk out the door.
All right.
You don't plan anything. You might plan. You don't even plan to go to work no more because you getting up going to work because they got you on a schedule. I mean, I'm just saying. But if you don't have a job like me and you do Uber and things like that, Uber don't have me on the schedule. I have to set my schedule. So I have to have a battle plan to combat the things that's happening. Bills, car breakdown, gas in the car. You have to have a battle plan to combat the things that happen. Plans fall by the wayside all the time. The best laid plans go to waste. Anybody on here watching this probably knows that. But the fact that you planned something puts you in a better position to win the battle.
Yes.
Because you had a battle plan. What's going on, Conte? What's going on, Brown Ridge and Barron? Conte said, this is awesome. Love listening to you speak. Listening to you speaking facts. Thanks, brother, man. It's good to see you out there doing well too. I see you working hard, doing things, taking care of the family. I check you out on Facebook. I appreciate you watching and following. Please share this video with somebody that may be able to benefit from it. Before I get lost, I was looking at a quote by Dwight D. Eisenhower, and you talked about planning for getting out of your financial woes. And as you got some things taken care of, you started to set more plans to fight a bigger battle to go even further in the war that you was in. And the more that you start knocking out those small battles by having a battle plan or by planning, the war didn't feel so bad.
Absolutely.
But when you didn't have a plan, it just felt like the weight of the world was on your shoulders.
Absolutely.
Dwight D. Eisenhower said, in preparing for battle, I have always found that plans are useless, but planning is indispensable. In preparing for battle, I have always found our plans are useless. What does that mean? They not gonna work. It's going out the window. The best laid plans fall by the wayside. You don't follow them. I write speeches. I plan it out. Once I start talking, gone. But I have an idea of where I'm going.
Right.
I have bullet points. I have battle plan points. But planning is indispensable. I may not write out a whole entire speech to go speak to someone, but I plan for something that I want to talk about. I'm extemporaneous. I can take some points and I can go and I can pull my scriptures and my quotes and I can work. My wife, she's more strategic in her planning, where she wants to write it down, format it out, be able to look back at it, may have a sentence or two that she want to talk about. My plan and her plan look totally different, but the fact that we plan makes us more successful in the daily wars or the daily battles that we fight within life. Hello, Miss Erica. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. So when you make a plan, when you make any type of plan in your life, it may not work out. Dwight D. Eisenhower just said it. The best laid plans, they fall by the wayside. But planning is indispensable. I mean, you need to plan something. If you want to change the trajectory of your life, if you want 2020 to actually be a new year, a better decade, then you need a battle plan for your life, because life has a plan. It's called punch you right in the face. That's what it's called. Yeah, most of the time, that's what it feels like. Life said, punch you right in the face when you wake up. And if you didn't plan to punch life back, you're going to feel like you're losing the war.
Absolutely.
You're going to feel like you're losing the war. All we talking about is planning for your life.
It takes me back to something you say all the time before we start planning for our finances. And you have, let's say your check engine light is on in your car. And Ethan would say, I'm mad and I'm frustrated right now. But am I frustrated because my check engine light is on? Or am I frustrated because I didn't prepare myself for this situation?
No, but I used to say, am I mad at my car because it broke down? Or am I mad because I don't have the money to get it fixed?
Right.
Don't be mad at the car for doing what it's supposed to do.
For it, and you have that emergency fund, your check engine light on to be like, okay, this is an inconvenience, but I got the money to get it fixed. So
little small battle that I can get past real quick.
Right.
We must learn how to shift and focus our energy in the direction that we truly want to go. A part of having a battle plan is putting people on your team that is willing to go to battle with you.
That's important.
To go to battle with you. In the Army, we call it 3-to-1. We always battle plan to go in with 3-to-1 odds. We don't know if y'all got 30 people, 40 people, or 50 people. But we bring in a battalion, okay? We bring in a battalion, and every company has a specific battle plan. Everyone on your team should have a specific battle plan. Everyone in your family and your household should know what the plan is. But when the plan falls by the wayside, you as the leader of your family, you as the leader of your life, when it falls by the wayside, then you need to be able to react and continue to fight the battle, because the war is not over until we gone, people. You in the war every day of your life. You are. And I know some of y'all like, oh, that don't sound good, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
It's the truth. You're in spiritual warfare every day of your life. You're in mental warfare every day of your life. Even though I call myself Mr. Positive in every negative, I know it's a positive in every negative, but it's sometimes in that negative I don't see nothing positive. I'm upset. I'm not happy. I'm not feeling good. I'm like, why me, Lord? What's going on? But the more I plan for the negative to come, the more I put information in my mind, the more I just be me, the more I activate my greatness, the more I promote myself, the more I sell myself, the more I push myself, the more I believe in myself, the more I plan to prepare my mind, the more I plan to strengthen my body for the fight that I know is coming. The more I plan for that, the easier the battle is, and the war don't seem so difficult.
Right.
You know, Afghanistan has probably been at war for longer than I can remember. And it doesn't seem like, I mean, we went to Afghanistan in 2001. It's 2020. We still have troops in Afghanistan.
Yes.
We've won plenty of battles in Afghanistan. We've lost plenty of battles in Afghanistan, but the war is still going on. My parents divorced when I was 7. I dropped out of high school when I was 17 to 18. I separated from my wife at 33 or 37. The war is still going on every day. I lost several battles between my wife and I. I lost battles with my children. Not as in the fact that I took a step back and they got the best of me. I lost battles by coming with so much force and not enough love. I lost that battle, and it messed with a part of the war. But when I stepped back and I shifted my thought process and I understood that, Ethan, you in the fight every day of your life. So if you start a battle plan, if you start to put things in structure, affirmations, if you start to put goals, if you start to put a team around you, if you start reading, if you start studying, your battle plan is becoming so elaborate. Your battle plan is becoming so large. Your battle plan is developing, evolving so much because you're focusing energy on not winning the fight, but being in the fight, because you know the fight is coming.
Yes. If you're armed,
then
you're not really worried about the war.
You're not. That's why most people got a CCW and carry a gun, especially if you live in Detroit. I'm just saying, you live in Houston, you live in New Orleans, you live in any major urban American city, or you live in the country somewhere, you got a shotgun, you got a rifle. Why? Because you preparing and you planning for what if somebody come on my property and they try to make it happen. You got a battle plan. You plan to physically protect you and your family. So if you planning to physically protect you and your family, how come you're not mentally and spiritually planning to protect your life? Why? Why do we do it? Because most of us don't know that we in a fight. Society wants you to believe that everything is peachy keen and roses and everything is good. We live in America, greatest country in the world. People still losing their life every day. People still battling with stress, depression, homelessness, sickness. People are battling with those things every day because they're looking at the entire war. They're looking at the big scope of their life, of their past, of what the future looks like, what's going on right now, missing the main thing, the battle that you're within currently at that time. The battle that you're within is the most important fight of your life. The war is going to be there. I can guarantee you that. I said that earlier. If you look in the world's history, someone at some particular time has always been fighting some type of war or some type of battle. If you don't begin to battle plan, if you don't begin to structure your life, if you don't begin to set things in place to change your life, you will continuously feel like you're losing the war.
Yes.
Iran or general, whoever it was, he probably had a battle plan in his mind too. We gonna go to the U.S. Embassy. I'm gonna send these protesters there. Y'all gonna get in. Y'all gonna do whatever y'all gonna do. We gonna ruin America. That was probably their plan. That was what they was thinking. Or they thought they was gonna scare some people. Donald Trump probably didn't have a plan for that. But he said, oh, I don't have a plan, but I plan to fight back in this battle. Hit the button on them. That fight is over.
Yes.
So when you hit the button on life outside of your doors, on my front door before you walk out of my house, it says positive thoughts and vibes only beyond this point. I've already structured my mind. When I walk out the door, positive thoughts and vibes only beyond this point. When I walk out the door, I see you are loved, you are valuable, you are a masterpiece. When I walk out the front door of my house, on my doors, index cards that gives me positive quotes and affirmations for me and my family as well, because I know you going into a battle.
Yes.
I know you're going into a battle. I don't wake up all the time always happy, excited, and energetic. My wife don't wake up that way. Sometimes before I come into the house, after I rucked, after I worked out, probably after she come home from work, she sits in the car and she decompresses. I listen to inspirational stuff. I listen to motivational stuff because I know it's going to be a different battle when I walk through the door.
Yes.
The cat might be meowing. I'm just saying this cat wearing me out, okay? A cat picks on me. I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. She goes to the door and she just battling at the door. Meow, meow. You got food in your bowl. Leave me alone. All right, I digress. You need to start setting some things in place, but it may be a battle when you walk in your own door. And if you haven't controlled that fight in your mind, if you haven't controlled that fight in your heart, if you haven't dealt with that battle that you're in right now, in this moment, at this time, the war will continue to last just as it's lasting in Afghanistan, just as it's lasting in Iraq. I mean, we pulled out of Iraq 2011, 2012, 2019, 2020, even 2018. We were already sending troops back. Why? Because sometimes when you win small battles, things die down for a while. Things lay low. The plane don't have no turbulence. You just steady flying. You good. You like, oh yeah, we riding. And then you run into some issues. And you're like, oh, I thought this war was over. Man, the war is going on every day. It's just the small battles that dictates where you see yourself in the war, whether you winning or losing. But if you lose that 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., if you lose that first battle in the morning, that waking up and slapping that alarm clock, you're probably going to be losing battles throughout your day because in your mindset, you've already taken a step back and gave something else or someone else the power over you. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Got to win the first thing of the day that you do. If you set a plan to get up at a certain time, if you set a plan to be a certain place in your life, if you set a plan to obtain certain things in your life, that's your plan. So when the fight comes to you, what you're in every day, you got to shift and adjust your battle plan in order to deal with the things that's happening in your life. I planned to be here. I fought and prayed my way to get back here. Not a physical fight, not a mental struggle or fight with her. I fought my mind. I fought, and I didn't even have to fight my heart. My heart wanted to be here, but my heart was hurt thinking some days I won't be here. That was a battle. But having those affirmations, having those goals, having that prayer time, having that alone time, having that time to talk and deal with my mother, my father, my children, having that time to conquer all those little small battles. By the time I came back to this battle and we had to sit down and really war it out and talk it out, the battle was already won in my mind. So regardless to what she said to me, I was going to be good to go because I was already expecting the fight. I had already planned for a fight, but unbeknownst to me, the Lord had already was like, gonna give him a pass. Wasn't gonna be too much fighting. We just had to talk about the battles that we deal with, not only as a couple, but the battles that we deal with as individuals. That's so good.
Because a lot of time the couple fights are really individual.
All right, see you later, Instagram. Log on to Facebook, Ethan J. Smith, because Instagram cutting off. Right.
A lot of times the battles that we fight in relationships start with the individual.
90% of the battles, 99% of the battles that you fight in a relationship starts with the individual. You know why? Because most individuals get into a relationship before they even cleaned up the battle in their own mind. And then you think you at war with your wife and everything she doing is wrong and everything she's saying is you coming off on me like I'm some type of punk or something. How you talking to me like that? You always on the defense because you never took time to plan out and be offensive to trigger your mind, to trigger your heart, to trigger your thoughts. I think I said this last week, or me and you was talking about this when we first got back together and I came and I moved in and we was here and we had some small little battles. He's like, you know what, here's your key. You need to just go back to your uncle's house and stuff like that. If I wouldn't have dealt with that battle in my mind, if I wouldn't have said, okay, you can't just get up and walk away when somebody offends you. You shouldn't. You could, but you shouldn't. If I didn't know who I was, if I didn't know what God already told me I was going to have, where I was going, what I had planned for, I would have easily lost that battle. I would have easily lost that battle. But since I dealt with myself, since I dealt with the enemy within me, since I dealt with the hurt within me, since I battled that before I got back to her, to be in this fight was easy. If you deal with you, anything outside of your door will be easy to deal with. This is my mind. That is your mind. You control your thoughts. Nobody has power over you. You give people power, and you have the right to take your power away. Stop fighting with other people and start dealing with you. Stop fighting what's going on out here in the world. Stop following all this negative news. Yeah, check on it and see what's going on in your neighborhood, what's going on in society. But if you're looking at negative news every day, all day, what's going on here, what's going on there, you'll probably never sit down and battle plan for your life. And that's why you feel like you always losing the war. That's why you feel like you fighting every single day. That's why you probably waking up with no joy, with no peace, with no desire to do anything. Wake up and start writing down what you're grateful for every day. Wake up and start saying, thank you, Jesus, Buddha, Allah, whatever you believe in. Wake up and go for a walk. Wake up and drink some water. Just stand still for a minute. Whatever you struggling with, whatever is bothering you, don't be afraid to fight that battle, because until you fight that battle, it's still going to be there. Plan for it, and it may not work out, but the fact that you plan means you know a problem is coming.
Yes.
The fact that you plan means you know something is coming, and when you know something is coming, that's coming to do you harm, that's coming to make you feel bad, or was coming to tear you down. When we know something like that is coming towards us, we're a little bit stronger when they get there. Because why? I was aware it was coming.
Yes, it's not a surprise.
It's not an ambush. It's not like, hey, here I am.
Yes.
No. You plan for it.
It's kind of like date night. We do a date night once a week. We plan for the success of our marriage. So it would be a surprise if it just fell apart, because we have a plan in place. So you're not really sideswiped if you have a plan. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And then if you do get, well, I don't know if you get punched in the face in marriage, and you plan for it. You're like, oh my God, what'd I do with this?
The only time you do is when your partner reneges. You have a plan and then they decide they're going to do something different.
She talking about me.
Then you get punched in the face. But when you have two people on the same sheet of music, it's not likely to happen.
No, it's not. Because the thing about a plan, you should always be
in agreement with the people you have a plan with or on your team.
That's one, but I wasn't thinking that. But the thing about a plan, you should always be looking at your plan and adjusting your plan as life adjusts on you. Don't just write out a plan and sit it down. That's it. Concrete in stone. These are 10 commandments. My plan says I'm going to wake up at 4:30. I'm going to walk for 1 hour, be back at the house at 5:30. I'm going to drive to work, get there right on time at 6 o'clock. You make all these plans and then it don't work out. You're like, oh man, what happened? No, you got to shift. You have to adjust your plan. You have to leave some leeway, some wiggle room. You know, you got to be like water. You got to be able to get fluid within your plan. Have a boundary. Don't have it so rigid.
Don't be so structured.
That you
alter it if you need to.
Alter it if you need to. Yeah. See, a battle plan is just that. Planning for a fight. A war is something that's going on between nations. A war is something that's going on in your mind. A war is something that's going on in your heart. You know this is going on. So start planning how do you change your life. If I would have never planned to do this, if I would have never planned to do anything different, if I would have never planned to go back to school and get a diploma, planned to go to school, get a college degree, planned to start making YouTube, if I would have never planned out for any of these things, I would have been at war with myself still to this day. I would have been at war with myself. And a lot of y'all are probably at war with yourself about something that you didn't plan for 10 years ago. 15 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. But I'm here to tell you, I got news for you. If you start planning today, you can change your tomorrow.
Yes.
Because what the seeds you plant today and what you plan for today will affect your tomorrow.
Yes.
Will affect your tomorrow. Talking about battle plans versus war. I know our country could be at a time where we getting ready to go to war. But I'm going to tell you, man, you better stop focusing so much on what's going on in the country right now. You better start focusing what's going on in your heart, what's going on in your body, what's going on in your household, what's going on in your life, what war is going on in your house, what battles are you winning, what battles have you lost, and what battles are even unnecessary to fight. This battle isn't yours, it's the Lord's. But you at least got the plan for it.
Right.
That's it. That's biblical. A man plans his way, but God's ordered his step. The battle is the Lord's. This battle isn't yours. The battle is the Lord's. But you do need to have a battle plan because the fight is coming. Count it all joy when you go through dark times and times of turbulence. Why would the Lord say that if he didn't think it was coming?
Yes.
He wants you to plan for a fight, but he wants you to know that you already have the victory. I'm not a pastor. I'm not a Bible scholar, but I'm a very simple man. I understand things in a simple way. When it comes to being a child of God, when it comes to following God, being a Christian, however you label yourself, you already know that the victory is yours. When Jesus stretched his arms and died and said, "It is finished," the victory was yours. So most of us go into a fight not even knowing that we already won, but you got to fight. You got to fight. I'm telling you, meet me outside at 3 o'clock, okay? Meet me outside at 3 o'clock. We going to fight. But you know you're going to win. You're going to be there. And that's what it is with God. The enemy is coming. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Your mind is coming. 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m. It's coming. The fight is coming. But when you rocking with God, when you rocking with what you believe in, for me is with God. When you rocking what you believe in, I know the victory is mine. The Lord said it. This battle isn't yours. It's the Lord's. Please. Start the battle plan for your life. Focus as much on your life and the plans that you have for your life, for the battles that you're facing or getting ready to face, as much as you focus on what's going on in Iraq and Iran and with Trump. Because believe me, they're planning for their lives. They're planning for their next fight. And what's so funny is, they make plans that could affect your life, but you don't make plans to change your life. Mm-hmm. The battle starts within. The victory is already yours. Stop playing the victim and start playing the victor. Stop coming to God crying and whining and begging for things that he's already given you. He said it is finished. This battle isn't yours. The victory is yours. Start celebrating. Be the victor, not the victim. But the victor, Michael Jordan, he planned to beat the Pistons. What did he do? He got in the gym because he knew, okay, when I play the bad boy Pistons again, they're going to beat me up. I got to get in the gym. I got to get stronger. I got to plan for this fight. I got to do something different. You have to plan for the battles because the war you already in. I got to go. I got to go get my son. I got to let y'all go. We got to go. You got to share this video. You got to like, subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Facebook. If you don't like it, share a message anyway. Tell me why you don't like it. It's expression sessions. I want to talk about it. The more I'm on here, the more you're going to get of me. And I'm just going to keep coming at it. I'm just going to keep going at it because not only am I telling you to fight the battles that you're dealing with in your life, I fight the battles that I deal with in my life. I fight getting on this camera sometimes, making sure I have a message, hoping I'm giving something to the people that will help the people. I pray to God, Lord, speak through me. Give me something to give to somebody. Don't let me get on here and get all puffed up and just be talking about stuff that don't make sense. No, keep it simple, stupid. We gonna use the KISS method on expression sessions. This battle is not yours, it's the Lord's. But if you battle plan, then it makes it that much easier to fight the war.
Yes.
A man plans his way, but God's ordered his steps. It's biblical. I think it's Proverbs 39, something like that. It's biblical. So if the good book or what you believe in is telling you to plan something, don't listen to me. Listen to it. Listen to your heart. Listen to your internal man or woman, because you know what you're fighting with. You know what you're dealing with. It's always the internal. It's never the external that affects our life the most. It's not what they say about you. It's what you say about you. It's not the war that's going on around you. It's the war that's going on within you. Fight the war, fight the battle that's going on within you, and the war that's going on around you will slowly start to what's that subsede? No, I can't think of the word. Slowly start to go away. Okay, start to go away. Gotta help me out. You know I be going and my English be broken, but it's been real. This hour has went by very fast. Yes. I'm gonna have to let y'all go because my son is gonna be mad at the church waiting on me to pick him up. And the people at the church are going to be mad, and I'm going to have a prayer war battle with them, and we're going to be over there having jit shout-offs and speaking in tongues and all that stuff. No, I'm just joking. Fine, y'all. It's going to be fine. I'm just having fun with y'all. But y'all have a blessed and wonderful Saturday, man. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this message. You got something out of it that'll help you, something that was beneficial. If you found something inspirational in it, please be inspiring to someone else and share this video. Again, like, subscribe to the channel. Ethan J. Smith on Facebook. YouTube is at Mr. P.I.E.N. Please start checking out on YouTube and subscribe to the channel because eventually we'll be doing more on YouTube and less on Facebook. It's just part of our battle plan to move forward in life with this war of launching a business, this war of being an entrepreneur, this war of being the #1 speaker in the world. It takes time when you make a plan, but if you at least have a battle plan, you can be in the fight.
Yes.
Because the fight is coming. Y'all have a blessed and wonderful Saturday. We out.